a lot of heavy engage and disengage being taken out, and as well as one of the two strongest or two of the strongest AD carries in the current meta. Now, Ari being picked up, it's so a little bit jarring because usually Renekton has been one of the most important picks at red side, but now he definitely has fallen off. And we've talked about this before. The Lee Sin plus Renekton combo has been absolutely scary, especially when we talk about the early game.
Right, with Corki being picked though by LAKAN Esports, this states that Leonites Esports will now be forced to go for the traditional route, not go for the double marksman. Because Leonites in day number 2 has played the Corki into the mid lane and another ADC into the bot lane. With Corki not being picked by LAKAN Esports, I think they really want to give a comfortable position for Aisin in this particular game. With now Kha'Zix there for LAKAN Esports, I think this will be an early clash alongside matching it up against Lee Sin in the jungle.
Yeah, Kha'Zix versus Lee Sin. Curious to see if Boy J is able to get the early lead and able to snowball. But look at row 1. He's going to pick up our first Vayne in the fall season and a Twisted Fate as well. We talked about this off Cast Infinity. Twisted Fate. Where's the Twisted Fate when we see a Renekton as well top side and as well as the Lee Sin? Now we see it over here for Sean. Will that be a Leona on the side of LAKAN? I am curious for our Juk.
Lock it in. Leona is a strong champion. And Leonites Esports can try to punish this. But let's go back to traditional once again. With the Braum pick here for LAKAN Esports, I think they want to really defend onto the gold cards for Twisted Fate. Vayne with the stunts as well. And also with Does Projectile from Janna with a Howling Gale. So I think Braum acts as a defensive frontliners that LAKAN Esports wants to have that safety net for Corki and Ari in this particular game against Leonites Esports. So I think they want the tradition. Leonites wants to explore a little bit onto their composition with the Twisted Fate and the Vayne as well, which can really just change things up. If Leonites gets the early game, they could dominate in late game because Vayne is a good power scaling champion.
I know, there's just so many options. You can play mostly towards top side and allow this Renekton to snowball. And then you have the Lee Sin to help assist with that approach, and as well as the Twisted Fate. Level 3, incredibly strong power spike. Level 5, add Sean into the equation. And who are they going to dive upon? Tante. Tante now carrying a flash barrier, and it's a Riven. The outplay potential under tower is possible, but how strong and how will you defend with 3 champions in the equation?
Yeah, and 3 champions. Leonites Esports is going for that similar number in top-sided map, waiting for Servant engage against LAKAN Esports, but they're playing it very slowly. Lee Sin will go back away into the blue buff, and I think you asked about where this Lee Sin sort of would go at level 3 to get that early gank, and I would presume it's going to be the mid lane, because you have the Twisted Fate with the golden card, a lot of CC that can prolong the sort of CC chain that can be in synergy with Andy 69 to get that first blood.
I think, yeah, level 3 is incredibly strong for sure. Andy 69 and row 1. Versus the Charm, of course, the Charm definitely much harder to land versus the gold card, the easy gold card. But now we're taking a look at this lane swap right here instead of the standard scenario that we usually see. There could be a fight though at top side, but it seems that it is going to be the adjustment that LAKAN is going to do.
Right, and this is what the pattern is in the previous games, wherein the blue side selection comes on top, goes for the pressure in to get those turret plates, and also the comfortability onto the ADC, but Corki will be forced to use 2 summoner spells, which means Leonites Esports will get the summoner spells advantage.
Yeah, Jash came to play. Jash came to kill on this Renekton, carrying an Ignite. And the level 3 Renekton, we talked about this before, is an incredible spike everywhere. And look at this Roam squad. They're looking at the Rift Scuttler. This could be a double Scuttler start for Leonites.
Because that's the Infernal Dragon, and they need that information later on in the 4-minute mark, and whether LAKAN Esports wants to take this down. That's going to be a gold card onto Braum, but just a little bit of pressure there. No kills will be pursued with all in here for Leonites Esports, and everyone will go back into their respective lanes.
Yeah, it is going to be... the Roam's going to stop as the Rift Scuttler basically has been secured. So the next 2 minutes is going to be extremely important. I wouldn't see any team would decide to trade the Rift Herald versus the Infernal Drake. It's incredibly important, especially for Leonites and as well as LAKAN. They want a lot of huge damage from the Kazakhs as well, and as well as from the Ari to get that assassination potential. And I think their skirmishes can be very strong, but the biggest question is, will Leonites even allow those situations? Because they're going to be roaming with the numbers advantage, plus Sean here on the Twisted Fate.
But LAKAN Esports is doing the same thing, going for the 3-man roam at the bot side of the map. I think this states a signal on what Leonites Esports and LAKAN Esports wants to do in this game. They want to get the tower first blood so that they can go for the Infernal Drake with no contest. Even then, if Rift Herald comes into the other side, they're not gonna get that regret because they don't have the tower first blood and get that gold lead. So now they're just split pushing, they're reflecting each other's strategy, but Leonites Esports will get ahead with the tower first blood.
Yeah, exactly. Corki versus Vayne. Of course, Corki's gonna get that, or rather, of course, Vayne is gonna get that tower. More, Ison is definitely more on the pokes and the caster side of things, while Rowan on the Vayne is more on those heavy auto attacks.
Tante wants to run away, but can he do it? Because he is getting pinned down by Leonites Esports. That's a flash in. Sean will get the kill, but the charm will follow through. That's a lot of damage. LAKAN Esports is trying to go for the trade-off. That's the Exos happening with Kazakhs now coming through. Monsoon will now be forced to go for the sustainability. Roll one will fall down. Glacial Fissure will be casted. No one will connect it into. As Leonites Esports will get the 1-for-1, and they're happy to back away.
Yeah, Ro is able to get the Bork at least right now. And now because LAKAN was in position already at top side, it will be a little bit of a they will be a little bit cornered if they decide to rotate very far from top to bottom. So it is going to be a trade of objectives. And meanwhile, LAKAN can use this Rift Herald buff and see if they can open up the mid lane instead to put Sean on a tight leash a little bit. Let's see if the Charm's going to connect.
Charm would indeed connect onto the Twisted Fate, but he would rather go for the ultimate back away. Kazakhs is pretty low, 1 HP. The Ignite will not burn him down to get the kill in for Leonites Esports, but in the end, it's LAKAN getting the Rift Herald and Leonites will get the Inferno.
Really nicely done by Leonites. You know, they're not too greedy. They were able to force out the flash away from Dedenne. So the Spirit Rush may be used defensively or aggressively. So that's the option for probably like the first few minutes or so. Meanwhile, Loot and Seko already completed by Dedenne, so it's going to help out a little bit on the damage department and as well as the clear, but they're aiming for Jatch's life.
Cream and Rome, LAKAN Esports looks to go for top lane. Twisted Fate with the Destiny gets information, but he'd rather TP bot lane than rather go top lane because it's just too much when LAKAN Esports has the member advantage. So getting that trade-off is much more important and Leonites Esports will get it through.
Yeah, there is no vision at top side, so it is going to be a little bit difficult for Jaj when he overextends or stay in the lane at top. He is definitely most likely going to be eliminated. LAKAN are doing their best just trying to even it out. It's actually pretty even, just a couple of gold difference. A couple hundreds, rather. Just 100. And now, this could be the second charge to the tower, possibly. There it is. So, the Rift Herald being unleashed at top now is a little bit more maximized as LAKAN actually dropped a bunch of wards more in the jungle of LK for their blue side, so they do have information on what's going on in that area.
I'm glad that you mentioned it. LAKAN Esports utilized that Rift Herald very well. But now let's look at the items because now we're looking at a lot of Mercury threads. And I think this is what these two teams wants, to have that extra mobility, to go for roams in other lanes, to go for roams in these objectives because they want to be very active in this map because who would get that map control first would probably state control of mid-game, late-game.
Yeah, just trying to take picks off of the solo lanes as we look now at Dedenne on the side and as well as Tante. And they do have the capability of, you know, getting that numbers advantage just because of that Destiny coming from Sean. He is on his way to that Lichbane, so he is going to hurt after a little bit after acquiring that item. And now they're looking for the charm again. This is so crucial. Dedenne has to keep landing those charms. If he doesn't, then the next CC that they'll have to rely on is Arjuk. And Arjuk is definitely more focused, especially as on his ult on that disengage. They want to save that for those tight situations. And with that, we'll have to see what the next move is going to be because so far it has been kills denied because Leo Knights is so careful.
Right, and they're just clearing out these sort of niches into the information game. If they don't have information on this particular location of the map, they're not gonna be particularly rushing in, going all in. And this is how safety they are. They understand that LAKAN Esports has a lot of disengage and CC to bring them down. Destiny will give information for the Knights Esports, but they're not going all in. LAKAN will force to be back in their very own jungle.
They were very respectful of that destiny. And the reason why is that they don't have any information in the deeper ends of Leonites' jungle. So the best call was play it safe. They might sandwich us here in the middle. Might as well just back away. How to engage from Leonites? It's actually pretty dicey. They're only gonna be relying on the gold card. Andy 69's Dragon's Rage, perhaps, is also an option, but they don't have exactly a very clear AoE-centric style of starting a fight. So LAKAN, very, very careful, and now it's going to be the Mountain Drake soon.
Yeah, it's more favorable for Leonites Esports to rather go for the ganks instead of the clash. Because LAKAN Esports, if you're thinking about it, Tante has AoE CC, has AoE stun. Arjuk has a Glacial Fissure. Aizen has a special delivery. Pretty much a lot of AoE CCs. On top of all that, they also have single targeted. So LAKAN Esports has the advantage in a 5v5. So the Knights need to punish this early game. That's going to be the Glacial Fissure connecting onto 4. That's the follow through special delivery, knocking up the Knights Esports. But Aizen 1v1 against the enemy team. That's going to be 1 man down, 3 man down for the Knights Esports, while LAKAN is still 5 member alive. And Riven will come through to get the ace, to get the 5 kills, and they're now having the lead.
Look at that fight. Beautiful from LAKAN. They not only get the dragon, they also get mid lane tower. And even though there's just so many low health targets, Leonites is unable to finish off those low health HP members coming from LAKAN. They were pretty much separated and aren't able to penetrate the backline. And look at Aizen already here, picking up the Triforce, picking up that QSS. So that gold card will be null and void in the upcoming fights. And as well as, again, those Twin Shadows, just to try and spot out perhaps, Rowan, maybe when he's on final hour, perhaps, as well. So it is not looking good. Just as you mentioned, Infinity, when they're going 5v5s, Leonites definitely has to catch someone first, make it a 4v5 for them to have a comfy clash.
Or just pretty much go far away from those clashes early game. Because Rowan is a late game champion. If they wait patiently and not engage against anyone in this particularly early phase, mid phase of the game, they can actually scale out late game. So they have 2 options. The one that you stated, or just stay out of way.
And looks like they might go for the latter. So far as there are no objectives to take. Destiny, though.
TPs are now going to be in. Stun will connect onto Tante. Tante will just walk away. And he will still be safe. Leonites Esports 3-man row mid-side of the map though. LAKAN will get the turret top side.
It's so hard to catch a Riven. It's so hard to catch a Kha'Zix as well. I mean, everybody has some form of disengage, has some form of mobility to increase that gap. And now Baron's actually getting started here.
Oh, and he's 60 now with a face check. That's not going to be a great move with exhaust. Slowing him down. LAKAN Esports will go back away because that's going to be overextending if they follow through into chasing away the Braum. So that's a clever move from LAKAN Esports.
A good call. Definitely from LAKAN. They were able to plant a lot of these deep vision on the top side, and maybe they were aiming to catch someone, maybe a 4v5, maybe kill Andy 69 for him to walk in danger.
Josh gonna be sighted onto the Twin Shadows enchant in bottom side of the map, but Josh will just dash away in style. LAKAN will not get the kill on bot side of the map.
Yeah, those Twin Shadows, very, very important, not only for the fights later, but most importantly, to try and find an isolated target for the Kha'Zix to catch in the deeper ends of Leonites' jungle. And that's what we saw. Unfortunately, Josh is able to escape, not even using a flash or ignite. The slice and dice is absolutely enough. And with that, look, Zhonya's Hourglass already picked up by Andy 69. Usually, either you pick up the Guardian's Angel, Zhonya's is also a very good choice. So when you dive in, then you go golden and see what your next move is going to be. It is fairly air quote quiet just because again Leon Knights cannot afford to fight them, and just as you mentioned, Infinity, they're still waiting for Rowan to get those items, and Lakan are trying to find those targets so far, but hasn't been very successful.
They are, I think, waiting for the right opportunity to make that in. If you're looking at this, the wards that they have only two members who has the trinket, or two members with the ward, the yellow ward, and the rest has the lens to just clear out some of the information from the United Esports. So they really want to play the vision game against the United Esports in this matchup alone. But now Tante, that's the 1v1 against Jash, tries to go in. That's the Destiny casted down by the Twisted Fate, ready to go for a response if ever LAKAN Esports goes all in onto Tante. That's gonna be stunned and Ignite will just burn him down and Josh will fall through. That's gonna be the flash for flash.
No
Tante
way!
will still save revive, and that's gonna be the smite, putting him on a slow, and Tante will survive at 1 HP.
I'm sure that is one of the most annoying things ever. You're close to eliminating the Riven, but then the cooldowns, the dashes, the shields, the stuns are just too much for that chase. And now LAKAN is able to get one member down. Jash unfortunately wasn't able to finish off the kill, and that's the second dragon already for LAKAN Esports.
Right, and they're straight going onto the Baron Nashor. They have the understanding that Jash is no longer available for Leon Knights Esports for 3 seconds. So if they can bait onto the Baron Nashor, that's gonna be big time. Rowan is pretty low on HP. Anti-69 is gonna get pinned. That's gonna be stunned in. No jungle available for Leon Knights Esports, and now they have the go signal to go for the Baron Nashor.
I gotta say that a fight earlier baiting out Jash was just so smart, because you baited out the Destiny just for the rest of the Unites to spot out if LAKAN is taking the Baron, and now this could be another contest.
LAKAN Esports will get it through and through though. Baron Nashor will go to the side. LAKAN Esports Monsoon will sustain Jash's life, but he will fall down in the end. Ison will take the kill down, but Ison is onto the front side. Valkyrie out. That's a clever move here, as the United Esports will not get the trade off.
It is going to be LAKAN satisfied of going back home, getting that reset, buying more items for the team, and try again. And basically, well, not try again, and use that Baron buff to its full potential. Fortunately, it is a current 4v5, so Leonites couldn't do anything as much. The map looks pretty dark from LAKAN's side. It's fine, because they basically invested resources more to get vision more on that dragon. Rather, they do have that Twin Shadows to get information on where everybody is. So this is a very, very valuable buy for them. And it's paying off even in the later stages, even at this 50-minute mark.
And look at the information for the United Esports. Only 2 wards available into the map. One in the riverbed, top side quadrant, and one in their very own jungle. But bot side is clearly unknown. It's filled with fog of war for United Esports, and they need that information if they want to go through the bot side to mid side in defense against LAKAN Esports' aggression here with the Baron buff. Look at mid lane, look at bot lane, look at top lane. It's gonna be the 1-3-1 situation. LAKAN Esports will go for the push, will go for the inhibitor turret. If they take this down, this will open up the base. Leonites Esports will go for the defense. Glacial Fisher with the one-man knock-up. Twisted Fate will still survive, but LAKAN Esports is happy with getting all inhibitor turrets in this game.
Yeah, this is such a humongous lead already for LAKAN. Not only gold-wise, not only a 12k gold lead, but as well as the map. Look at the map right now. Everything is open on Leonites' side, and they are so exposed. LAKAN even dropped a ward inside the base of Leonites, and Tante bought a teleport. So if Leonites don't keep an eye on the minions building on every single lane, then perhaps Tante can access the base and backdoor.
Yeah, and I think one of their opportunities right now is to get the Elder Dragon. Because if they lose it, LAKAN Esports will get this win in game number 1. Because you're not just considering onto the inhibitor turret, you're considering the gold advantage LAKAN Esports has and 2 dragons in their favor as well. So Leonites need to contest this if ever it now comes up. If ever LAKAN even does not finish this game yet.
It is a tall order. It is very tough. It's a tough hill to climb. As there is none, there's the minions right now.
Yeah, they're pushing in. LAKAN Esports will get it slowly but surely. The charm will come through, not connecting onto anyone. Tante will get the glacial done. And LAKAN Esports